Hello and welcome to RAF Halton for the 2023 Royal Air Force Sports Awards. I'm Kath Brazier, and any minute now inside Halton House we'll be celebrating the very best of light blue sporting excellence. As ever within the military, there are a wide range of sports being recognised here today, from the sliding on the ice in the thrilling world of bobsleigh to the ferocious force that is ice hockey. Many sports and many exceptional athletes. Looking after proceedings today is BFBS Sports' John Knighton. Let's join him now.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, those of you watching us live on Forces News, YouTube, Facebook and BFBS TV around the world, a very warm welcome to Halton House, the officers' mess here at RAF Halton for the 2023 RAF Sports Awards. As you'll be hearing over the next hour and a half or so, it's been another great year of sport for the RAF, and so many successes, both at team and individual level, to reflect. I'd like to introduce Air Vice Marshal Cab Townsend, who's AOC 22 Group and head of RAF Sport, and Cab will be making all the presentations to all the winners and the nominees today. So it's absolutely fantastic. Great to have you here with us today, sir. Okay, we have quite a few awards to present, including 3 Lifetime Achievement Awards, a Station Award and 3 Civilian Volunteer Awards. So we've somewhat shortened the citations here. The full ones are available to read on the RAF Sport website, and they're highly recommended. But we're going to start today with the Sportsman of the Year. If I could ask each of the nominees, please, to stand when I mention your names, and then we can all see you, including everyone who's watching. Our first nominee today is for the Sportsman of the Year. It's Squadron Leader Simon Almond, RAF Swimming and Water Polo. Now, Cy Almond has been at the pinnacle of water polo, both with the service and the British national water polo setup. He played for eventual winners Cheltenham in the 2022 British Water Polo Championships, carrying this form into RAF representation. He used his vast experience to be the catalyst for the RAF, winning the 2023 Inter-Services Water Polo Championships. Scoring 8 goals in the win against the Army is unprecedented in any level of water polo. And there were goals of real quality, which our audience at home, by the way, are watching right now. Cy Almond. Our second nominee today comes from the world of ice hockey. It's Flying Officer Adam Rosbottom. Adam, where are you? Right there. Now, Adam came into RAF ice hockey after a hiatus of several years from the sport. In the 2021-22 season, he made the move to the Bees Ice Hockey Club, who play in the National Ice Hockey League. He's the first player ever in defence to reach the second tier of British ice hockey. Adam posted 21 points in 30 games that season, and this latest season he's already scored 5 points in 9 games, including a remarkable hat-trick in his first game back. Adam is also the RAF men's representative, pillar lead. He captains, coaches and manages with absolute commitment and brilliance. Adam Rosbottom. And our third nominee today is Chief Tech Mark Collinson from RAF Course Angling. Now, sadly, Mark can't be with us here today because he's away on operations. So I'm very pleased to say that his wife Helen is here representing him. And there she is, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Mark's been involved with RAF Course Angling Association squad for 22 years. He's represented the RAF, UK Armed Forces, and individually numerous levels up to inter-service and UK national events with outstanding results, including being part of the RAF team to win the inter-services for the last 2 years. In addition, he's held the role of team manager for the last 12 years, a commitment which is to be even more highly commended given his day job working on an operational flying squadron as deployable aircrew engineer. That is where he is right now. Mark Collinson. So 3 terrific nominees, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you'd agree, but we can only have 1 winner. So could I ask now Air Commodore Rich Fogden, who's Director of RAF Sports, to reveal the RAF Sportsman of the Year. And there's a microphone for you, Rich.
Thank you. The RAF Sportsman of the Year is Squadron Leader Simon Almond.
And could the other 2 nominees, ladies and gentlemen, please come up to receive their awards. And Helen, if you can come as well, please, on Mark's behalf as well, to come and receive your awards. Well, Si, don't go away because we'd like to do a quick chat with you. But could we have the other 2 nominees please come up and receive their awards as well? And Helen as well on Mark's behalf. Hopefully, Mark, you're watching on your deployments at the moment out in, I think you're out in Nevada. Well, Si, if I can just hold on to you just for a couple of seconds, because this is the easy bit, really, the interview.
Okay, sure. No pressure.
Well, first of all, many congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks very much. It's a massive honour to win it. I'm slightly lost for words, if I'm honest.
Well, I must admit that, you know, your sport is, I suppose you could consider it a minority sport, because it doesn't get maybe the coverage that I'm sure you'd expect it to. But when you win an award like this, it can only help boost the profile.
Yeah, I really hope so. It's a sport that I've taken an immense amount of over the years, and has played a huge role in my career in the service. And I think, hopefully the award does that. Actually, it showcases the sport to more and more individuals. I think so many people in the country will try swimming, for instance, and will try a bit of competitive swimming. But for me, it's kind of, if you like swimming, you like a bit of a team sport, then it's, I don't want to call it more fun. I'm obviously biased, but it's another way to keep swimming, use your swimming skills, but actually get involved in a team sport.
It's so frantic, isn't it? I mean, you know, often with a lot of sports, there's a lot of stuff going on underwater, but everything looks really sedate and serene on top. Not with water polo.
Yeah, so I like to think of it as being like a swan. So you've got to try and appear to look elegant on the top of the surface, but underwater, as Trev and Andy will back me up for across the way, you're generally doing the exact opposite. So you're trying to manipulate your opponent and your body position to be able to take advantage, whilst all the while kind of trying to smile for the referee and make it look like you're not doing anything.
Well, I have to say that, you know, having seen you in action, you're pretty fearsome out there on the, you know, in the water.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks very much. Yeah, there's no getting away from it. It's a competitive sport and a contact sport, and it's I very much enjoy that kind of physical challenge side to it. It definitely brings that, both in terms of having to kind of hammer it up and down the pool, and then whenever you stop, there's generally someone there who's not trying to drown you. You can't get drowned in water polo, despite the popular belief, but generally someone who's trying to move you out of the way or prevent you getting the ball, who you need to kind of fight against.
Well, many congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. The RAF Sportsman of the Year, Squadron Leader Si Almond. Well, we've set the bar pretty high, haven't we, ladies and gentlemen? It's time now for the Sportswoman of the Year, and our first nominee today is Flying Officer Caris Williams-Morris from RAF Rugby Union. Now, Caris can't be with us here because she is currently in New Zealand with the Welsh Women's International Squad. So representing her today is Warrant Officer Michelle Crowler. So, Caris Williams-Morris, what can I tell you about her? Her outstanding performances on the field were seen during the Rugby World Cup qualifiers and the tournament itself, where she represented Wales. The exception was when she chose to represent the Royal Air Force at the Inter-Services, which tells you everything you need to know about her commitment to the physical and mental resilience needed to play for the Air Force. And it showed her exceptional qualities, as well as her remarkable teamwork and collaboration skills. She's established herself as a regular outstanding international athlete, competing at the very highest level. Caris Williams-Morris. Our second nominee is Air Specialist Class 1 Francis Lyle from RAF Boxing. Frankie Lyle has been a driving force for female boxing within the service. Her dedication and commitment has been second to none, which has allowed her to break glass ceilings. Hopefully you won't break a glass ceiling here today, Frankie, but she has become a role model for women of all ranks. Frankie was the first RAF female UK Armed Forces elite champion at 57 kilos in history. In addition to this, she has seen achievements in civilian competitions throughout Europe, a silver medal at the Women's Winter Box Cup and Golden Girls in Sweden. Her record speaks for itself, with 10 wins out of 13 bouts in a single season, only losing to the GB #1 seed and Irish champion. She has by far been the most active RAF boxer this year. Frankie Lyle. Our third nominee this year goes to Corporal Sarah Toms, RAF Cycling. Sarah Toms has had a standout year in the sport, achieving national level results, inter-services titles, countless wins, and contributing to the sport as an inspiration to female cyclists through various committee positions and volunteer duties. Now, she began by winning the Inter-Service Cyclocross Championships, which are held here at Halton last November. After a winter of racing and training in other cycling disciplines, she then took part in the Army Cross-Country Mountain Bike Series, winning overall after competing in numerous events. This led to an inter-service selection for cross-country mountain biking and resulted in a third place finish, as well as taking the RAF champion title. Sarah Toms. Now, I'm sure you'd agree, ladies and gentlemen, three very worthy candidates, but we can only have one winner. And would Rich now please tell us who has been chosen as Sportswoman of the Year?
Yep, the RAF Sportswoman of the Year is Flying Officer Caris Williams-Morris.
So Michelle just coming up to receive the award on behalf of Caris, who, as we said, is unfortunately not here. Well, hopefully we can have our other two candidates as well, please, to come up and receive their awards. Frankie and Sarah.
Is that a good thing then?
Now, as we said, Caris can't be with us here, but she's on the other side of the world in New Zealand. But she has sent a video message, which we are now going to play for those of you who are watching on our live stream. For those of you here, Caris has asked...
Sirs, mums, ladies and gentlemen, greetings from New Zealand. I hope you're all having a wonderful time at the RAF Sports Awards, and I'm sorry that I can't join you there in person. Firstly, to even be nominated alongside Frankie and Sarah is a huge honour, and it really inspires me that we've got so many talented athletes in the RAF. To receive this award is a huge honour, but obviously it wouldn't be possible without the help and support of the people around me. From RAF Rugby, thank you Ian Cocaine for your support over the years, and thank you to Michelle and John and all of the management team for everything that you do for RAF Rugby. To the RAF Rugby girls, thank you for the culture that you've grown. I really love playing with you girls, and I love the journey that we're on. To everyone at RAF Sport, a huge thank you for supporting me in transitioning to become an elite athlete. A special mention to Amy Elliott. You really helped me with the process, with something that could have been quite stressful. You made it seamless, and I'm really grateful for that. Finally, thank you to my profession. Thank you for allowing me to play the sport that I love for my country, and I can't wait to get back to my career in the RAF once my rugby career finishes. I hope you all enjoy the rest of the day. Congratulations to all the other nominees and winners. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Caris Williams-Morris. Right, let's move on then, shall we now, to the RAF's Sports Coach of the Year. And our first nominee tonight, or this afternoon, is Chief Tech Chris Edgar from RAF Snowboarding. Now, Chris is integral to the enduring success of the RAF Winter Sports Alpine Association. He's received wide-ranging plaudits for his outstanding work and commitment to the snowboard squad, which comprises many junior ranks. His ability to lead and mentor inexperienced members has proved instrumental in the achievements of the team in recent years. Borne out by inter-services competition wins, and without doubt he has raised the profile of snowboarding within the association. Chris Edgar. We stick with winter sports, but this time of the ice type for our next nominee, Flight Sergeant Mark Silver, RAF Bobsleigh. Mark has been instrumental in the development and management of GB and RAF athletes, leading to a multiple inter-service win for both individuals and teams, as well as World and European Cup medals, with the pinnacle a bronze medal at the 2014 Sochi Winter Olympics. Fundamental as a coach for both the male and female teams, he has over the years transformed the team ethos, focusing on teamwork and passion, leading the RAF to no less than 12 inter-services wins as a coach. His influence is felt across all the disciplines, either from his role as the treasurer, securing world-class equipment, as a team manager, or as a mentor to the new committee members. Mark Silver. And third today on our list is Flight Lieutenant Matthew Butcher from RAF Fencing. Matthew Butcher began fencing for the RAF in 2020 and since then has thrown himself into coaching. He's founded and nurtured 2 stationed fencing clubs in succession, led and coached a team to represent the RAF at the Inter-Services Championships, and is now the RAF Fencing Training Manager. For someone 3 years into the sport, this is a considerable achievement. His commitment to grassroots and whole forces access to the sport is outstanding. Members of his fencing clubs have now established themselves as stalwarts of RAF competitions, regularly winning medals at all levels, from novice to RAF championships. A number of his fencers gained RAF representative colours in 2022 and 2023. Mark Butcher. And Rich, could I ask you to pop up here again and reveal the winner for us?
And the winner is Flight Sergeant Mark Silver.
And could we ask the other 2 nominees, please, to come out and collect their awards?
Yes, and let me pray to pass on thanks to Chris for everything he does for the team. Yeah, fantastic. Is it? Yeah. That is a great answer, I think. Thanks for this. I appreciate it.
So, RAF Official of the Year, that's not bad, is it, for quite a lot of work?
I'm very lucky, and it's me receiving the award, but there's a team behind everybody, isn't there? And, you know, from everybody here that helps me, I'm very fortunate. And, you know, you have opportunities in life, and what you have to do is be the best that you can and try and make them work for you, right? We all do it in the Air Force, and it's the same in sport. And thanks to everybody here that supported me throughout my time.
Mark, bobsleigh is incredibly successful across all three services. I mean, the last Inter-Services Championships, we had all three services represented there with international stars, people winning World Cups and getting very close to World Championships. Why is it so successful in the military?
You stand at the top of the run, and the fear, isn't it? You know, you're going to go down a nice chute at 80 miles an hour and hope for the best. And it's something that we're the daredevil in us all, that we want to go out there, be the best that we can, and achieve great things. And I think you know, whether you're out in Afghanistan or wherever it may be, there's always the fear and the threat there. But on the ice sport, it's exactly the same, and it just prepares us, I think, as the people who we are, to go out there, not to be afraid, to try and be the best as, you know, whatever we do, and bring that and give it to other people to try and help develop them too. So
I presume it's a bit like parachuting in a way. In the first time you do it, you're terrified, but then after that you think, oh my goodness, that is just unbelievable.
No, I think I'm terrified every time I've done it, if I'm honest. And that's right. I can remember walking a track with Michelle Coy, who was a Great Britain athlete, and one day, and she'd slid for years, been to an Olympics, and she said, I feel a bit, you know, I'm a bit scared today. And I was the same. And I think if it wasn't there, then I'd be concerned as a coach, because you want to be worried, because if that person has no fear, then maybe they'll do something out of the ordinary and a sled will no longer be in the track. And that concerns me more. So you look at people, and there'll always be fear in whatever we do, isn't it? And I suppose soldiers on the front line, you know, wherever we are in the world, we all get afraid sometimes, but that's okay too.
Well, many congratulations on becoming the RAF Coach of the Year.
Thank you.
Now we turn to our fourth award of these RAF Sports Awards, and this is for the Sports Team of the Year. And we're going to start with the RAF weightlifting team. Now, although the RAF Olympic Weightlifting Association is a relatively new organisation, it has shown impressive growth in both size and quality. At the 2022 Inter-Services Weightlifting Championships, the RAF Olympic Weightlifting Association Inter-Services team overcame the well-established Army team in an incredibly tight and competitive event. In so doing, the team boosted the association's reputation and prompted a significant increase in membership. The RAF Olympic Weightlifting team. Next, we have the RAF ladies hockey team. Now, this has been a hugely successful season for the RAF Hockey Ladies Senior Team, winning the outdoor inter-services competition for the first time in 10 years and achieving the double, winning both the indoor and outdoor for the first time in more than 25 years. Their success has required dedication and hard work. A strong team ethos, along with excellent training and mentoring, has been a superb team, and that they've been able to achieve such a high level of success. The ladies' senior hockey team. And our third nominees today, ladies and gentlemen, are the RAF Women's Telemark team. The RAF Women's Telemark team have made history during the 2022-23 season. That's because they won the first ever women's telemark competition at the Inter-Services Snow Sports Championships in Maribel. In so doing, they pioneered the way forward, setting the standard and challenging the other single service teams to diversify and develop their women's squads. Next year should be very interesting. the RAF Women's Telemark team. So, who's won? Rich, tell all.
The winners are the RAF Hockey Association Ladies Senior Team.
This is Laura, Rebecca and Alex, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be having a chat with them in just a few moments' time. Ladies, stay where you are, please. If we could invite the other two teams to come and collect their awards, please. The Olympic weightlifters.
Just obviously conscious of space from the losers to bring these two forward, please, and then gently massage the shoulders and actually just come out a little bit more from the head, and then see the shoulder. Yeah, and then just forward. So we have to slowly back. This is going to have to be great. Beautiful, yeah. Thank you.
Olympic weightlifters, ladies and gentlemen. And now for the RAF Ladies Telemark team.
And then we are going to go two-legged on one side and three-legged on the other side.
So when we do our chat, if I can focus one there, if one of you stands in the middle, one of you on either side, and then I'll come round to. Yep. Right, ladies, interview time. So we've got Alex, Rebecca and Laura here as well. Congratulations to you. I'm sure you've got a quick word you'd like to say to the other two teams.
Well, firstly, being here, congratulations. It's an honour, obviously, to stand up here representing RAF Hockey, but the achievements that both of your teams have taken on this year as well has been outstanding, so congrats.
I mean, team sport is absolutely the essence of what you do in the military. So how do you forge success? Because you've been such a successful team, Laura.
Well, I think it's a mixture of the determination from everyone that turns up, but also the ethos that the teams build, because it's not only what you do in work, but that then spills out into the sport as well. So we feel like we've got a very welcoming squad that introduces those that are new to the sport, just like how people are new to a trade or a profession, and then we develop them to hopefully get to the point where we are now.
Which is incredible. And Alex, I should mention, obviously, in the citation there, that you've won the indoor and the outdoor competition for the first time in a long, long time. What's the difference? In a different way of training, different way of treating the matches?
It's pretty much two separate sports. So just like football and indoor five-side football, it's a completely different sport. I'd say indoor, personally, my favourite. It's a lot faster, higher paced, more intense, but equally both great sports.
Well, congratulations to you, the Team of the Year for RAF Sport. Ladies and gentlemen, the hockey players. Our fifth award today is for the RAF Sports Administrator of the Year. Behind the scenes, they do all the hard graft, don't they, to put our sportsmen and women out there on the pitch or on the court or wherever. Our first nominee today is Corporal Sharon Hayes from RAF Ice Hockey. Sharon has been instrumental in the continued development and advertisement of ladies ice hockey within the RAF, acting as a trailblazer and advocate for the sport, leading to the commencement of wider UK Armed Forces sport recruitment plans with an overall strategic goal of the first Ladies Ice Hockey Inter-Services Championship. She's been instrumental in the hosting, facilitation and management of 4 RAF hosted events during the season, and in addition is one of the founding members of the RAF Ice Hockey Association Ladies Representative Team. Sharon Hayes. Our second nominee is Wing Commander Natalie Feeney, RAF Winter Sports Snowboarding. Nat Feeney has been at the vanguard of RAF snowboarding since 2008, the treasurer since 2013, and has represented at the UK Armed Forces level for the last 12 years. She's been instrumental in the shaping of snowboarding, not only due to leadership on snow, but more importantly, her dedication off snow as the RAF snowboard treasurer. She's just not only a phenomenal athlete, she's a superb ambassador for the Royal Air Force and an outstanding leader and pretty handy on that snowboard as well. Nat Feeney. Now, our third nominee today is Warrant Officer Chris Slater, RAF Motorsports Association. Chris can't be with us here today, but we're going to ask Claire Bunton, who's the Deputy Director of RAF Sport, just to stand up so we can recognise Chris. And that's where the comparison ends. Now, Chris Slater is an outstanding team manager. His passion, commitment and work rate generates a reciprocal passion within his team, and they have continued to grow in quality and confidence throughout this and previous seasons. He continually innovates, setting the bar for STEM, that's science, technology, engineering and mathematics engagement, firmly linking primary duty activity to RAF Motorsports' key outputs. His continuous improvement of the Armed Forces Race Challenge and the RAS team competitive portfolio year on year reflects his passion for providing RAF personnel with the opportunity to take part in a sport which many consider to be out of their reach. Not when he's around. Chris Slater. And Rich, if you would reveal the winner for us.
It's Warrant Officer Chris Slater.
So Claire coming to accept the honour on his behalf. So Nat and also Sharon, if you would come up and collect your awards, please, as well. Our sports administrators, ladies and gentlemen. So we now move on to our civilian volunteers, who I'm sure you will agree with me, without whom RAF Sport would find impossible to function as successfully as it does. The job so many of them do, both out front and behind the scenes, is absolutely vital. Our 3 winners, and let's face it, there could be many, many more of them, reflect that in bucket loads. Our first winner today is Mr. Eamon Garrity, RAF Boxing. Now, throughout Eamon's regular service in the Royal Air Force and during his retirement, he's been a loyal servant to the Royal Air Force Boxing Association. Whether competing at inter-services level as a boxer, leading the coaching cohort, or excelling as an official, he's demonstrated unwavering commitment throughout. Volunteering primarily as the medical registrar, Eamon is responsible for being the conduit between the national governing body, England Boxing, and the members of the association, which comprises around 200 personnel, to ensure compliance and all safety procedures are adhered to. His wider involvement in assisting the national governing body, promoting services boxing and officiating at numerous shows and functions across the country is consistent and constant, and demands numerous evenings and weekends away from his home. Eamon Garrity. Our second recipient of this award is Ian Webb, Mr. Ian Webb for RAF Gliding. Ian Webb, it says here Webby, is that okay if I call you that soon? Great stuff. Is an Army veteran. He's been involved with the RAF Gliding and Soaring Association since 1983 after a chance encounter with the RAF Crusaders Gliding Club whilst on deployment in Cyprus. Since then, he's been a member of other gliding and soaring association clubs, most recently at RAF Cranwell. He's amassed 926 flying hours and more than 4,400 takeoff and landings. In 2021, he earned an assistant instructor rating, which allowed him to teach the full gliding syllabus. Since then, he's held the distinction of being the most prolific club instructor for 2 consecutive years, a testament to his dedication and devotion in teaching fellow members. His steadfast presence on the airfield is a hallmark, as he is consistently devoting his weekends to the club activities. Ian Webb. And our third volunteer recipient award today goes to Mr. Ian Acey, RAF Winter Sports. And more particularly, I think, Ian Telemark, is that right? It is indeed, okay. Well, Ian's commitment to nurturing the grassroots programme has been exceptional. His selflessness is evident in the countless hours he dedicates sacrificing his personal leave allowance and leisure time to provide beginner and development coaching. At the RAF Championships, his tireless efforts extend far beyond a single session. He offers tele-tasters on nursery slopes after long days of coaching race and development teams on the mountains. His infectious passion for the sport, combined with his patience and good humour, has cultivated sustained interest in RAF telemarking. Ian Acey. And I'm sure, ladies and gentlemen, you will join me in congratulating all 3 of these richly deserved awards as they now come up to receive them here on the front. Ladies and gentlemen, our amazing volunteers. Well, we now come to the RAF Station Award, the RAF Central Fund Award for the unit that has done most to promote physical activity and sport, to encourage people to take the crucial first step, either in the gym, playing for their section, their squadron, their wing or their unit, or to get involved and take their sport as far as they can on the field, on the line, in administration or management. The nominees this year: the RAF Cosford Archery Club, the RAF Odium Inter-Section Football League, but the award this year goes to Cyprus. It's the RAF Akrotiri Park Run Initiative. Now, permanent home to over 2,500 serving personnel, family members and civilian employees, with nearly 700 more deployed on operations and exercises at any given time, the need for a broad spectrum of inclusive and innovative events encouraging participation from the whole community is absolutely clear. Last year's introduction and evolution of Akrotiri's Park Run has allowed for all to get inspired, get involved and get active, growing rapidly over the last year with significant effort expended by its volunteer committee to widen its appeal. The Akrotiri Park Run community now has 573 current members. As a measure of its success, the last event in July attracted more than 220 participants. The RAF Akrotiri Park Run Initiative. And here to accept the award on behalf of the station is Sergeant Mark Plum.
Fantastic. More than 220 next time? Hope so. I'm not there anymore now. So what's going on? It's a new team. So you send a personal email to Squadron Chris Dixon and tell us to make that happen. Yeah.
Mark, before you go, you're not going to get away with it that easily. Well, I know that you're accepting this award on behalf of the station. You're not there at Akrotiri anymore, but just tell us why it was so successful. In Park Run has been amazing, hasn't it? Particularly post-COVID.
Good question, and I think you covered quite a bit in the intro in terms of the broad spectrum. Any dog lovers here? Yeah, it did attract a lot of dogs on the day, which was a good thing. But we went from the dogs to professional runners. I do remember his name, Matt Blundell, achieving a time of 16 minutes. So you had the professional elements, and then you had the families as well. So, you know, we introduced the bacon, the music. We got the fire engine to soak people as they come in. Even got the US guys involved to throw paint at people. It's their colour run as well. So it was more than just a run, I'd like to say that, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So this is a team award, and shout out to everybody involved with that.
Absolutely. I know people will be watching in Akrotiri now and they'll be absolutely delighted about this, to have won this award. We've shown some video actually to our viewers who are watching on the live stream, and you can just see how it involves, you say, it involves everybody in the community.
Absolutely. You know, we talk about diversity a lot and playing to each other's strengths, and that definitely displayed that with, you know, we had the Lucy who was all over the tech, right? You upload the timings. You know, I was the extroverted guy who doesn't mind getting in front of people, apart from now, panicking a bit. But, you know, so...
You're doing fine.
Yeah, so, you know, we played to each other's strengths, and, you know, there was so many people who got to know, and rank wasn't involved. It was just, you know, my name's this, what do you do? And it was it was a good facilitation, whether you want to run professionally, get a good time, or just turn up, get the ice cream and bacon afterwards. So it was enjoyable.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations to everyone involved at RAF Akwatiri for winning the Station Award for 2023.
Thank you very much.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the last of our awards, but by very much not the least. We've come to the Lifetime Achievements Awards, and I'm told there were more than a dozen nominations, all of which were extremely well deserved. But ladies and gentlemen, 3 people have been chosen for them today. I'd like to start, please, with Squadron Leader Damien Clayton, RAF Rugby League. Now, best summarised by the former Chief of Defence Staff and former President of the RAF Rugby League Association, Air Chief Marshal Sir Stu Peach, in his foreword to Squadron Leader Clayton's book, Through Adversity, The Fight for Rugby League in the RAF. Damien Clayton, the RAF's Mr. Rugby League since 1992, has worked tirelessly to ensure the sport he has graced as a player, administrator and coach is given the same official recognition that dozens of other sports that military personnel take part in, such as football, cricket and tennis, take for granted. As his service career draws to a close, it would be remiss not to recognise and take stock of the significant impact the endeavours of one person over 31 years has made to so many service personnel and the thousands who have been able to enjoy the benefits of rugby league being an officially recognised sport for the last 27 years. Squadron Leader Damien Clayton. Our next recipient is Squadron Leader Paul Goodwin, RAF Sub-Aqua. And Paul, we are absolutely delighted that you are here with us today. Paul Goodwin has been a vital part of RAF Sub-Aqua for over 35 years, whether it be organising and leading expeditions across the globe, delivering training, running unit clubs, or supporting as one of 10 RAF Sub-Aqua diving supervisors serving today. He has personally organised and led more than 100 unit-level international and home-based expeditions, mostly focused on introducing and developing newcomers to the sport, while at RAF and joint service level, he's led more than 20 international expeditions to remote and challenging locations. One of these events gained first place in the prestigious Duke of Edinburgh's Scientific Awards scheme. Paul has consistently devoted his time, commitment, knowledge, skill, and boundless enthusiasm to promoting and delivering the very best experience for any and all participants. His impending and most reluctant retirement from RAF diving is now forced upon him by ill health. We wish you all the very best, Paul, and we absolutely salute you. Paul Goodwin. And our third recipient of a Lifetime Achievement Award, ladies and gentlemen, is Warrant Officer Anne Thomas, RAF Powerlifting. A multiple world champion powerlifter, Anne's inspirational example and guidance over the last 20 years has influenced and shaped not only service sport, but national and international competitive and organisational frameworks. Retiring from competing in 2008, and she very kindly sent us some photos of her competing, she focused on delivery and currently undertakes multiple senior executive appointments. As the UK Armed Forces Powerlifting Association Secretary and Treasurer for the last 15 years, she has coordinated every UK Armed Forces Powerlifting Championships since their inception. As a qualified drugs control officer, she has managed the national testing programme since 2010 and concurrently from 2016 the global testing scheme as the senior international drugs control officer for the World Federation. She's considered an expert in the fight against performance-enhancing drugs and heads the International Discipline Panel for Test Failures. Since 2017, she's been the president of the British Federation and directed the implementation of a military division into the national system. A qualified international referee, she's officiated at more than 150 events, including 30 world championships. She is the First Lady of Powerlifting. Anne Thomas. And we'd like to invite Anne and Paul, if you're able to, Paul, and Damien to come up. We'll talk to Paul in just a few moments' time, but Anne and Damien, if you'd like to come up and receive your honours, please. Damien, don't go away, please. We'd like to have a chat in a moment. And Anne as well, we'd like to get you back up on stage for a chat. But ladies and gentlemen, Paul being helped here by Mark Braben. Let's bring Damien in for a very quick chat. Damien, used to the microphone with us on BFBS and Rugby League commentary, but first of all, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
It's to get any sort of honour is remarkable, but what you've achieved in Rugby League since it achieved, and you had to go to the Houses of Parliament to get that official recognition, didn't you?
We did. The early days, it was tough, you know. You could play 7-a-side, 9-a-side, 15, 14, but you couldn't play the 13-a-side code. So yeah, as a young airman, then I was SAC. Then it was tough. But the predecessors at the RAF Sports Board, Mo Short and Chris Davison, really supportive. So helped us all on the way, and yeah, we eventually got there.
You must be so proud with the way that the sport has, in these last 27 years, actually developed, blossomed and flourished, and not only at RAF level, but also, at UCAF level as well.
Exceptionally proud, John, and the relationship we've built up over the years, and the whole sport being recognised at the highest level. That we've had people play, leave the forces and play professionally, and then we've competed in World Cups, 30 odd years ago. I never dreamt of doing that. But the support from all three single services and UCAF level has put us on the map, and the RAF team, in New Zealand right now. We went there in '97, the first ever trip, and we've got some stories to tell, but not for this occasion. But it's just fantastic, and it's support of everybody else. There's some really good people involved in driving their beloved sport forward, not just Damien Clayton. And and like I said, my family's here today, and it's all that time away and all that effort and stuff, and the families and what really strikes me is when I've been on ops, just going to the end of a 36-year career now, and when I've been away, the sports people, look around the table, there's a quality in general sports people and men and women, and I want to rather have them on the side of me. when we're on ops, and the value that they bring to the front line, as Mark Silver was saying. You know, I first met Mark when he was a corporal. He was still doing that bobsleigh thing then. Never got my head around it, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, sports people, what they bring to the service it's kept me in, if I'm really honest, and I know a lot of my colleagues are the same. Through the love of rugby league and sport, and I'm looking at Paul Goodwin there. I last seen him was we flight sergeants together here at RAF Halton, and Paul, congratulations, mate, well done.
Damien Clayton, ladies and gentlemen, winner of a Lifetime Achievement Award. Congratulations. And if I could invite Anne to come up and join us as well. You thought you were going to get away with it, didn't you? And many congratulations. I mean, the citation is just unbelievable, what you've achieved as a powerlifter, but also in the so important bit of administration and keeping it drugs free.
Yeah, I do. Thank you. I mean, it's an excellent opportunity, and actually to be resilient. I think sports comes into the very forefront of absolutely everything that we do, but I couldn't do it without a team. You know, I just minister everybody to do the very best that they want to do, but also to try and bring through a new generation of powerlifters. I think that's key in everything that we do.
Well, year after year, powerlifting always gets nominated for all these various events, and you know, you do win a huge number of awards in service sports, which just goes to show how popular it is.
It is really a popular sport, and again, as weightlifting's come on, it's fantastic. So it's allowing all of the different sports to diversify and expand as they go forward. But certainly, it's a growing sport. And the strength behind everybody, excuse the pun, the strength behind everybody to get involved in that, to take it from the very grassroots level to become one of the most influential athletes they can in their field is just incredible.
Well, I don't think they can actually hold an event without you, can they now?
They're going to have to try. I'm sure they'll be absolutely fine, and actually it'll allow me to sort of take a step back to mentor that next generation to come through.
Well, Anne, congratulations on this award. It's so richly deserved.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Anne Thomas, ladies and gentlemen. And Mark, I was wondering whether we could get you to come up and just say a few words here for this very special gentleman who has joined us here today. We're so delighted to have him here. And Mark, you know as well as anybody his contribution to Sub Aqua.
Yes, indeed. One of the first things Paul said, and as you can probably see, he's struggling because of his condition to speak as well as to walk. One of the first things he said to me today was about making sure that I mentioned the amount of activities undertaken, bringing in new people. I think there's more than one generation, probably 3 generations, of RAF divers and RAF instructors who owe their enthusiasm and participation in the sport and the experience that he's provided to Paul. Moreover, you mentioned earlier his receipt of the Duke of Edinburgh Award. It's also worth pointing out that on 5 occasions he was the recipient for expeds that he'd led from the National Geographic Society for his work for environmental protection, coral management and so forth. He really has been a tower of strength. Quite remarkably, the conditions advanced very rapidly. Paul was still instructing and supervising 12 months ago, getting other people into the water, both at Henlow, which was his most recent club, but other RAF venues.
Well, what we can say, Paul, is you're an inspirational figure in your sport, but also for sport in general. And it's absolutely amazing that he's here today, you're here today with us to celebrate your success.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I'm sure you'd agree, ladies and gentlemen, some remarkable achievements we've been able to enjoy and celebrate here this afternoon. I'd like very much now to hand over, please, if we could, to Air Vice Marshal Cab Townsend, who's going to give us his closing address. And we've even put a microphone there for you, Cab, as well. Are you going to? Yeah, well, okay. I'll bring the microphone back for you then.
You don't like me to hide away behind anything.
Let's just
you very much. Good afternoon, Director of RAF Sport and friends and colleagues within the RAF Sport community. What a fantastic afternoon. It's such a pleasure to come here today and recognise and celebrate the achievements of so many inspirational individuals and teams across the spectrum of Royal Air Force sport. Before here, only 4.5 months in the job, I have read and heard so much about the sporting success across the service, and it's the individuals within this room that are at the pinnacle of that success. I would just like to add my personal thanks to Amy and the DRS team for bringing today together. It has been absolutely fantastically well run. Thank you very, very much. And if I may also thank John and Lisa and the whole BFBS team today. Getting our message out and our success to a wider audience is imperative if we are to spread this message of success so much more widely than just the 90 people in the room. Again, thank you for your support today. It's much appreciated. So more thank yous. I'd like to offer my sincerest gratitude to our supporters, most notably the RAF Central Fund and the Sports Federation. It's quite simple. Without your efforts, we would not be able to offer the breadth of unique, special sporting opportunities that we do. You're critical to ensuring that this support can be maintained through the RAF Sports Lottery. And of course, I would urge you all, if you're not part of the RAF Sports Lottery, to get involved because it is such a fundamental source of funding, allowing us to go and do what we do. Equally, my thanks go to the numerous volunteers, many of you represented here today, the chairs, the committee members, the coaches, the officials, and many others who commit countless hours selflessly to the successful delivery of their sports. And we've got 54 associations that can only operate thanks to the infectious passion that every single person within this room and beyond has for our sport. In addition, the challenge of time, I would also say that we do always face a perennial challenge of funding. Sponsorship has and will continue to play a really vital role to bridging the gap between the growing demand versus the supply of funds, which is exacerbated more for those competing at the very highest levels. So whilst I'm very grateful for the direct sponsorship, and I am very grateful for that provided by our private and commercial partners, the onus is on us, the Royal Air Force, those that participate in RAF Sport, to spread the message, to get more people involved in sport and to build on our success and generate that income so we can grow from this position and have even more success in the future. I will close with why are we here? For those of you that may have seen Air Chief Marshal Sir Richard Knight and our new Chief of the Air Staff speak on one of his tours to our stations, he will start by saying something very profound, which is, first and foremost, we are an operational warfighting service. RAF Sport and what you do and what we do across the RAF sporting community is a fundamental part of us being effective warfighters. Mark Silver mentioned culture, ethos, values, courage, teamwork, camaraderie, adversity. These are the things that we do on a daily basis in all of our guises connected to RAF Sport. It doesn't mean you need to be on the field of play, in the boxing ring, but bringing that together behind the scenes is as important as those people actually participating in the sport. RAF Sport is a core part of us being agile and effective warfighters. It is not time off for sport, it is time for sport. I could not agree with that more wholeheartedly. And I need you to be those ambassadors to go back to your frontline units and make sure that we collectively know that this RAF sporting endeavour is about us being the very best warfighters that we can be as part of our Royal Air Force team. That will help us be the very most successful Royal Air Force that we can possibly be. And for that, I think there's nothing more important, and you are a core part of making us better. So I'll leave you with this, with plenty of thanks. By doing what you do through RAF Sport, you really do make us safe and ensure that we're fit for service and fit for life. Thank you.
Cab, thanks very much indeed. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the RAF Sports Awards for 2023. I'm sure you'd agree that all the winners and nominees here deserve huge congratulations for the contributions that they've made to success in RAF Sport in the past 12 months, and indeed for the years preceding that. The winners here will go on to the UCAF Sports Awards next spring, where they'll be up against the Navy and the Army, individual team and team winners and award winners. But for now, as we say goodbye to you from RAF Halton, a warm hand please for all the winners of the 2023 RAF Sports Awards.